Look at them. They're just having fun. This is Bob. And this is Billy. They're emus. And they're pretty cute, aren't they? They look harmless, like wiggly little chickens on stilts. But little did you know, they would grow up to be a force to be reckoned with. And actually, they went to war once. And they won.
Oh my God.
El emú es el segundo ave más grande del mundo, únicamente superado por el avestruz. Paco es un gran corredor.
It's an emu!
Okay. Before we dive knee-deep into this war territory, I just want to give you a little context as to what's going on, a little pretext, if you will. It was the 1930s, and the Great Depression was going on. The stock market crashed and brought along tons and tons of economic downfall, unemployment, mass poverty, homelessness, famine. It was generally not a good time at all. This spread globally from the US until it reached Australia, and it hit it pretty hard. In Western Australia, a vast population consisted of returning World War I veterans who were given homesteads. Production of wheat specifically was going very great. But with this sudden rise of the economic downfall, the farmers started moving to the cities to find jobs. And the ones that stayed, well, they were in for a very tough ride, especially since the emu breeding season had ended, and it was time for them to come back to the coast. So you see, for the farmers, this is the problem. About 20,000 emus. These emus are just rushing into farmland, destroying the fences, walking on the crops, eating the crops, and when they left, they just left everything to the rabbits, which was also a thing that was going on. And so, the farmers were just fed up with the emus feeding themselves up. Okay, do you A, ask the government for some financial or other aid to keep the emus out and increase production? B, you can request help from the Minister of Agriculture. Or C, request help from the Minister of Defense and declare all-out war on emus. So that's what they did. And somehow, the government came up with a fantastic idea. They gave command to Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Australian military and 2 of his men. And they armed them with 2 machine guns, along with, of course, 10,000 rounds of ammo. That's a walk in the park, right? First time around, they got to Camden. So the scene was set. The machine guns were ready, and they were out of range. So they only got to kill a number of them, as they said themselves. So Meredith planned an ambush where about 1,000 emus were spotted by the locals. They waited to be in range, they did this time, and their guns jammed. It doesn't get any better than this. The emus seemed to be getting smarter by the second, because army observers noted that each pack seemed to have its own leader now. This general emu kept guard for the others, so that when the time came, the big mob of emus scattered into smaller mobs and ran away, with little to no deaths. So basically, it was just shoot an emu pack, it runs away, you only kill a small number of it, shoot again at the emu pack, your guns get jammed. And that kept on repeating for a bunch of days. And apparently, Meredith got so desperate that he mounted one of the guns on a truck, but it was too slow to get in emu range, and the planes were far too bumpy to get a good shot once they got close enough. After a lot of negative media coverage, George Pierce decided to withdraw his personnel. And this is the most exciting part because the emus actually won the war. Meredith commented on the sheer strength of the emus, saying, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world." In total, they only had 986 confirmed kills, after having used up about 9,860 rounds, which gives us an exact rate of 10 rounds per kill. After all this, the government financed the building of wide and strong fences all around Western Australia to prevent the emus and rabbits. this could have been better if they just did it from the start. So after all this, I think we can safely say and learn. I think it's good to just take a step back and just weigh your options. You could have done the whole fence thing before waging full-on war against these birds.